Well, it's easier for a man to get a vasectomy than a woman to take the pill.
It's
And
amazing how
the vasectomy can be reversed.
Right, but is also less effective. Why is it less effective?
No, it's not less effective.
I don't think it has quite a reasonable, significant failure rate, I think.
Not in Australia.
And birth control pills, you also have to remember that gives a woman the opportunity to change partners. It also has the added benefit of helping with hormone regulation. You have someone who has menorrhagia, you have someone who has horrid acne and is young, not settled down with a single partner. It's much more effective for her to have a pill to where she's not reliant on somebody else having a surgical procedure done.
No, that has nothing to do with it. Some people want to have sex and not get pregnant. You understand?
Yes, that's what I'm referring to, Merl.
That's what it's about, right? Some women, when they take the pill or contraceptive, they have heavy periods. Some get headaches. It doesn't suit all women, that fucking thing.
I understand it doesn't suit all women, but here's the thing, Merl. The vast majority of people who take the birth control pill actually get significant lessening of their periods. It's a rare complication to have worsening. One of the major indications for the birth control pill is menorrhagia, which is heavy periods.
Yeah.
And why would you go that fucking thing? Why is it a problem to you?
Because I've known a lot of women that it's given them a lot of problems.
Oh, fuck off. No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
Okay, how many is a lot in this case?
15?
Oh, piss off.
I highly doubt that, Merl.
Well, why do you doubt that?
Because generally men don't discuss menstruation with women. And for you to have done it with 15 of them, and all of them happen to have serious problems with it, that seems absurdly unlikely.
No, you're exaggerating the situation to make out there's not a problem with it.
No, I haven't said that. I'm just saying you don't know 15 women.
So you're casting doubt on my anecdotal story when there's no reason.
Exactly, I am very much casting doubt on it. Yeah, I don't believe it.
Well, there's no reason for me to lie, and I'm not saying they all have extreme health problems, but some put on weight. There's one. Some get headaches. It makes them emotional. Some just
the reason for you to lie is that it supports your absurd opinion.
Some feel lethargic. Most women don't like taking the pill. Deal with it.
For every time you've said that, there are people. Listen, there are all these women that are so grateful that it exists, so that they have lessening issues with headaches. They find that the birth control. A lot of them find that that having their hormones rebalance helps with migraines long term. The overwhelming majority of them say that it lessens their acne. They say that it lessens their hormonal dysregulation. It leads to less mood swings. It leads to less heavy periods. Merle, you were literally stating that essentially every woman that you know that you've discussed this with has had the complete opposite effect of what it's normally used for. It's hard to believe that that's accurate.
Well, you are a mainstream doctor, and it sort of seems to me that you've got to have that narrative. You can't have the bad review. You can't have 1 star for the pill, can you, Bri?
You can absolutely have a bad review for the pill.
There's plenty of women who don't like taking the pill.
The point is, you're not talking about a bad review from the pill. You were stating that categorically the pill always causes an issue. You're not talking
more
about
often than not. It does. How many partners have you had that have been on the pill? I'm sure other people vouch for that.
What's your basis for more often than not? What's your basis for saying that?
Because when I was in England, my partner was on the pill all the time, and sometimes she'd forget to take it. It caused her.
So it's a survey of
15,
this is a survey of 15 people, if we're to believe it, and from that you've derived that for everyone, it causes.
I've known lots of girls growing up and over time, and I've heard many women complain about the pill. Yes. Why would I make that up? Why would I make it up?
I don't know, Merl.
Why?
I think it's.
So shut up then. I'm not making it up. There's no reason for me to make it.
I think it's because when you said it, you went, that fucking thing. And you realised you'd gone all a bit religious-tardy and you can't really justify it. So you've come up with this poppycock story. That's why.
No, you're just a mong, Gem.
Yeah,
You're a doubting Thomas. You're doubting Thomas. You're in a wheelchair. You don't meet women. I do. Sorry, bro.
I'm not in a wheelchair. I've been married. I've got 2 children. I used to work in a nightclub as a DJ. I've met plenty of women, Merl. I've had plenty of sexual relationships. I've had almost no discussions about menstruation, even with my ex-wife, although I did have some.
You're British. You're uptight. You don't talk about shit like that.
Oh yeah, the Australian men are always going on about periods, aren't they? I'm sure. They're really.
Every bloke says to his girlfriend, "Are you on your rag?"
Australian men are famous for being well tuned into their feminine side.
Yeah, are you on your rags? They say.
For the doctor who mentioned, Merl, you called him into question. I'm wondering how many people he has dealt with on menstruation questions and has dealt with the giving the pill. So, like, he would have a better understanding of this than I would think the lay person, wouldn't he?
No, because the people taking the pill, it's like, say if you ask someone, do you like coffee? If you ask most women, do they like taking the pill? You'll find their answer will be no. Is that hard to understand? Some people don't like tablets or pills.
Yes, it is hard to understand because you haven't asked most women, or even any women. You haven't got a fucking clue. You're talking out your ass again.
And I do know this, and you're embarrassing yourself as usual with your own ignorance.
Who have you asked? How are you able to make a claim about most women or all women? What would happen if you asked them this? You haven't got a clue. Don't lie. You're bullshitting. Again, this is what makes you a flat earther.
You're just yelling. You're a retard. Deal with it. Sorry, bro. You're just boring.
This is what makes you a flat earther. Because you think you know stuff that you can't possibly know. Because you pretend that you've got data that you cannot possibly have. And use that to make decisions about reality.
Yeah, right. What data have you got to refute mine?
The doctor?
Yeah, fucking nothing. Thanks, Jim. You're a ball-tard lunatic who needs to control your emotions.
I can look for some if you want. This isn't a subject I've got memorized, but I can look for some. That something you didn't bother to do, Merl.
Survey of people using birth control shows that 70% of oral contraceptive users are satisfied with their birth control in its entirety, with another 15% of them being mostly satisfied.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. That's what we've got, Merl.
Popping pills. Yeah, they love it. Yeah.
Hey, Brian, can you think of any medicines that you would give a 1-star review, as a doctor, given that you can't, what's that?
Wellbutrin.
I've actually heard a lot of people have had a problem with Wellbutrin, especially people prescribing it for anxiety and stuff. Yeah.
No, for the people it works for, it works well. The population that it works for seems like it's just not there in the area that I'm at.
I wouldn't.
Every now and again, we refer to it as unwellbutrin.
Yeah, I wouldn't. It wouldn't be the first go-to. Let's say that. Like, if somebody's tried a bunch of other things and nothing's working, then maybe. But it's not very good as far as outcomes seems. Well, that's weird, isn't it, Merl? How your point doesn't really matter.
Strange enough, the oral contraceptive has a higher
men talking
rate,
about women taking pills. It's great.
God damn. The oral contraceptive has a higher rate of satisfaction than the IUD or the implant beneath the skin.
Yeah, the IUD. A lot of people end up with allergic reactions to the metals and stuff too, right?
We don't. So we go out of
When
our
did
way
any
to-
women say that they love taking the pill to you or Zant?
Who said anything about
What's
they
that?
love taking the pill?
Yeah, that was the point of the story, that women
No, it
don't like
wasn't.
taking it and it causes them all
No.
kinds of complications. Yeah. So let's
Somebody
get back
not
to
saying
that.
I love
Let's get
doing
back
this is
to
not the
that.
same as saying I
And
hate doing it.
it can create hormonal imbalance, can't it, Brian?
It's more likely
It can also create hormonal balance more often than not.
Yeah. Yes, true. It is much more likely to create a hormonal balance than an imbalance.
You need that in the narrative too, don't you?
That's just
Well,
what
it's
it's
true.
shown to be true, Merle.
Every narrative,
Why
every
are you-
narrative out here
Why
is
are
nothing
you
bad ever
pretending that you
happens
know
to
about
everyone.
this? Why are you
Because
doing
I
this?
do.
You don't. Of
Yes.
course you don't. You haven't got any medical training whatsoever. Why are you pretending that you know better than people who have?
Dude,
You
my
haven't-
mum was a nurse my whole life.
Oh,
Whoa,
great.
so?
My dad was a newspaper editor. So what? Doesn't make any difference. Doesn't give you medical knowledge, does it? Don't talk.
Oh, so now you might take it a little bit more seriously.
No, I
No.
don't.
Take you any
I
more
think you.
seriously.
I think you're even.
You're right. Because you're.
No, because you've had no medical training and you're pretending that you have. Once again, this is what makes you a flat earther, Merl. This is what makes all of you conspiracy theorists. Arrogance like this, thinking that you know better.
You're
My
desperate.
Not
mom
only
was a
does it-
nurse.
You're desperate. If you stop muting me,
Merle.
I can put this on the table.
Shut
I can
up.
put
Sure, but
my
Merle-
big dick on the table, Jem. Do you want to see?
Okay, before you
Go
put your
on,
big
then.
dick on the
Veins in it?
table, just
you always have
realize
to make
that
it.
what
You
you're.
always have to make it weird and creepy, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Look
he
at my dick. Look at the veins in my
Oh,
dick. I'm
fuck
about to
off.
come in
Okay,
your face.
so
Jesus Christ.
Merle, you
Oh,
realize that this doesn't make us take you more seriously. That your little story makes us take you less seriously because it makes us
Do you think
realize
I
how
take any
little
of you
evidence
seriously?
and
Do you think I
how
take any of
little
you seriously?
information you actually have.
Do you think I take any of you seriously in here? Why
No,
would
that's
I?
why you're
Who
a
are
dumb
you
fuck.
people? I don't even know who you are, most of you.
I don't even know where I am.
I don't even know who most you people are, so why would I take you seriously?
You don't even know where you are, do you? So what's
Well,
that?
you know that I am Atlas Harbinger Lockwater, son of the former commander of the British Armed Forces, so that's one thing.
Yeah, but you
How
could
you
be to
doing,
some
dude?
guy sitting at a bus stop too.
You can test a lot of that just by asking people questions. It seems like a lot of the people in here are who they portray themselves to be.
Really?
Yes,
If
really.
if you want to believe that, go ahead.
My mom was a nurse, so I know those guys are doctors.
Yeah, when your mum's a nurse, I mean, all kinds of people are around you, right?
Now, was your
My mom was a
or
nurse,
she
so I know.
Usually, no. Usually, your mum goes to work at somewhere where nurses are required, and you fuck off to school like the rest of the kids.
Or she'll sometimes drag you along because she can't get a babysitter.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you spent loads of time hanging around the hospital. How much medical knowledge did you pick up as a baby, Merl?
Well, I grew up with a lot of doctors.
Fuck off.
What? You don't think I grew up with a lot of doctors?
What does
I
that
really
mean?
don't.
Grew
Why
up
would
with?
you think I
don't
didn't
think-
grow up with doctors around me and stuff
Because
like
most people don't, Merl. Why would
that? Oh,
you?
really?
Yes,
Well,
really.
I did.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
did.
did you? Oh, how did that happen, Merl?
The people I knew. What?
You spent a lot of time with your mother's friends, did you? Hanging
Some
out,
of my
chatting
friends.
chatting about medical issues. Yeah.
Yeah.
Merl,
Some
you're
of
just
my
making yourself sound like an idiot. Just
some
give
of
it
my
up.
mum's. No, because I'd listen into adult conversations when I was little. I'd be allowed to because I'd just listen.
Yeah, I'm sure that gave you great comprehension of all of the topics you were just listening to and had no
Why
background
wouldn't it?
knowledge of.
Why wouldn't
Merle,
it?
if you were listening to me and another professional having a chat about how we prefer to use a specific type of stent, if it comes to
Mhm.
somebody having a budding, what's going to be an easy way for you to understand this? say we got a bifurcation that's not normal and a left circumflex, and for that we have a tendency to prefer to use a balloon stenting before we actually do an in-sleeve stent. What does that actually mean to you? What does that
An
really mean,
in-sleeve
Merle, if
stent.
you're 6 years old?
I know what a stent is, but I'm not claiming to be a doctor. I'm not doing a blah tech. I'm just saying that. So I'll give you another example. So my partner, when I got to Leeds, the people we moved in with, one was a eye doctor, and the man was a brain doctor, and for whatever reason. So it's like I don't have their knowledge, but I can discuss. I can discuss subjects. See, outside of this room, people don't talk to me like they do in here, and I can discuss things easily with any professional
But
if they're.
But I
open.
expect that outside of this room, you don't talk like you do in here, right?
That was going to be my
I
question.
bet you don't go to that professional. And if one of those doctors said to you, "Oh, actually, generally speaking, the contraceptive pill is a positive thing for women," I bet you wouldn't have gone, "Oh, that's wrong. You're wrong. My girlfriend, she had a problem with it. Most women have a problem with it." I bet you wouldn't be doing it then, would you?
Why not try saying the same stupid shit outside this room that you say in here and see how it works out?
Right.
Like what? Like what?
Like
Everything
what he just
you
said.
Like you just said.
Like what?
Like
Like
I
what he
just
just
said.
said.
just said.
Example. Don't
this-
just say it
The
again.
example I
Give
just
an
gave.
example.
The last thing I said, Merl, was you
Yeah,
telling a doctor they were wrong on this issue that we've been discussing, which was about the usefulness of the contraceptive pill.
Not wrong. Just people. Not everyone agrees. Not everyone likes it. It does cause problems for
Right.
some people. That's
Right,
all
that's
I'm
true.
saying. That's it.
Yes,
That's it.
some people, yeah.
What you said
That's
earlier.
it.
Earlier, it wasn't there are some people who have rare consequences from it. You stated outright that every woman you know that's been on it, and that most women have
No, I
problems.
didn't say that.
You did say
We can
most.
wind back the
Didn't.
goddamn
I
tape.
didn't.
You can hear
You
yourself.
I
did.
said
Yeah,
I
you
know. I know a lot of women. That's what I said. Who have had.
Which I doubt. honestly.
Listen, just so you know where I'm coming from. I'd hear these. They'd tell me. Okay. I've had all kinds of women tell me, and I didn't want that information. They just told, you know what women are like. Sometimes they tell you things you don't even want to know.
So all the women
I
that
have a
you
hel-
know compared to the billions of women around the world.
Not everyone I know. No, not every woman I know has a problem with the
Well,
pill.
there you go.
But
Not
over
every
the
woman even
years,
still.
Okay.
at least
so we'll back that down
15
then,
have mentioned to
because
me
you
in
actually stated
different
that most
forms of
women you know
conversation
have a
that
problem
they don't
with it.
really like it, and it didn't really suit them, and then that their partner got a vasectomy, and that was much. This is what I'm talking about. That's the only reason why I mentioned it. I wasn't trying to be difficult.
You know, there's negative side effects of vasectomy, right? Epididymitis,
See?
just to name one.
See, so that can work for some people, but there can be complications with that as well. There's complications with everything.
There are potential
what is your point?
complications with everything.
It does. You can't have a one. I think I'm not saying the contraceptive pill is bad or evil or it's chemicals that fuck with the female endocrine system or whatever you want to think of it as. I'm not talking about that. I think it's great that we can, like dolphins, have that pleasure without it being like, we're sinning or we're living in guilt. Fuck all that. And it's beautiful that you can make love to your partner and all that, but you don't always want to have a baby at the end of it, do you?
Oh, so why don't we invent a pill that helps solve this? And also has the
that'd be
benefit
great,
of
Moya.
helping women with endocrine problems and helping women with acne and other things. And then for the people who have a problem with it, we come up with alternatives.
What kind of science fiction world do you think that we're in? You must think the timelines are converging or something.
Maybe.
Things are getting weird.
Only in your head.
Weird
Neil.
begin